All right, hello again, everybody. Just another headline I stumbled across. Remember, I said it also plays out in the weather. This is what we call an omega blocker, alpha and omega. So that could be like the final sign. Because I do want to touch base a little bit about the sixth. So I've already covered all the things that I think are true about the sixth. Okay, now in the play, so when we go back to the three-eye atlas thing and its first contact on the fifth day, that was the day before. That was the C-section, if you will, birth of man, so to speak. Okay, there was also a wedding interruptus, so to speak. And that's why, a few videos ago I was talking about the 10th, because the heavens, right, are pointing to that wedding being on the 10th, that I think got interrupted, which also played out in World War II with the July 9th, or the June 9th total eclipse, because that would have been a day before the wedding event. So, there, and it goes back into all the same things. So when we get to the 6th, will it be on the 6th? Do we have to wait till that great 8th day that happened before the 9th? Or do we have to go back and complete the wedding on the 10th? Right? So there's a lot of things in play here. I just don't know how it's going to play out. Now, as far as the energy, so all I can say about energy is, let's do this. Okay, so in a video a while ago, I talked about latent energies that we feel. Sometimes the shadows we see that, resemble UFOs, supposedly maybe were UFOs, and it's just a energy footprint, so to speak, right? And so, hang on, and I don't want to get any copyright strikes, which is crazy because I'm not monetized, but it is what it is. So now this is, I'm going to take it to a Star Wars movie. Imagine that.
Are you all right? What's wrong? I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I fear something terrible has happened. You better get on with your...
Okay, now what he felt there was the death of Alderaan. A planet had just been destroyed. Okay, and since he uses the Force, he's an energy being, whatever, like we all are. So, some of the energies that are flaring off the earth are, like I said, some of those latent energies from a time before. Even though it didn't happen here on the earth, this is the remnant, right? Pieces of those planets are still here as remnants, right? So, that's I think that's what's flaring off the surface right now, and those are what's driving those inner things. And all I can tell you about the inner things, first of all, breath work is very important. Learn how to meditate, clear your mind, relax, slow down, because these energies are going to amp you up in one way or another. They're either going to amp you up to the point where you feel tired all the time, or they'll amp you up to the point where you feel nervous. You may feel urges to eat certain foods. Go ahead, because your body's consuming all this energy. It's processing it all. I'm sure all of you have some sort of ringing going on in your ears. That's the cross. From your crown chakra down and crossing across your pineal gland from ear to ear. That's the cross within you. Okay? And your ears ringing is just your pineal gland processing all that energy that's coming in. And you'll have to drink plenty of water. You don't want to overdo it and waterlog. Everything's about balance, right? Just pay attention to it, because, the days are getting shorter, right? So when you're used to drinking, like, let's say 3 bottles of water in a day or whatever you're used to, I'm not sure. And here it is, you're only on bottle and a half and the day's almost gone already. Well, you've still probably put in that full day's worth of work that you're used to doing. You're just consuming less water. So just stay on top of, like I said, this won't go on too terribly much longer, but I do think the energies are going to start ramping up again. I think they're going to stay that way from now until this baby pops, so to speak. All right. So I hope that was beneficial. Just breathe, relax, get grounded, get in nature if you can, bare feet on the ground. That'll help with any anxieties and anything that you're anxious about. Just kick it to the curb. It's like the people I talk to here, they say the same thing. Man, I remember, years ago I could do so much more, blah, 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 blah. And I just remind them, you've never lived through the end of days before. So nothing is as it seems, even going back to the 80s, right? When we had the whole mini COVID thing go on in the form of AIDS, the world wasn't batshit crazy like it is today. Yeah, and it was a little crazy, right? I mean, but not. We still remember those as good old days because we weren't involved in the craziness because we were all younger building our lives, right? So now that we built our life and we're seeing it all kind of just get even crazier, that's why we notice it. It is what it is. So, like I said, I hope this was beneficial. The N-Star moment, somebody asked me once if I could talk more about the solar flash. I think that's all it is. It's an eternal thing, or that same energy that's crossing through the pineal gland, going from the crown chakra down and from ear to ear across, and that also encompasses your eyes too, right? That is our connection to source, right? That inner. It's both the pineal gland and the stomach and the heart. That's one form of the Trinity. Okay. So the solar flash, in my opinion, it's gonna be an internal thing as well. It's gonna be the twinkling of the eye. It requires a light to make your eye twinkle, and I think that light's just gonna come from. Again, kind of like Men in Black, when they pull out the pen and they neuralize everybody, there's a bright flash. Sunglasses ain't going to help, though. It's not an external thing. It's coming from inside the mind. So that is also part of the reset, so to speak. Which is why, again, they lie to you and tell you you live on a globe and blah, 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 because it's the reality you're building. If it's supposed to be a globe, it'll be a globe again, because all the little gods down here that are creating realities believe that. That's just one way to look at the little white lie and how it helps actually to project the next reality that happens in the twinkle of an eye. But I do believe it is the neuralizer, right? We have neurons in our brain. I've talked about that before. That's that star map to the universe, so to speak. The kingdom is within us. There's some people that say it exists in layers. I think in this reality, the layers do exist, but when it goes back to what it's supposed to be, it'll all be right there right now, the present. It was the marrying of these two realities that got interrupted, so to speak. But anyway, I've gone on long enough. I hope somebody benefited, maybe not. So like I said, if the 6 comes and goes, don't be afraid. Not afraid. Nobody's afraid, right? Just keep breathing, because we still could have the 8th day, that 10th day. Have to get back to the wedding. Who knows? We'll see, right? It's been a crazy ride, and it from here on with the incoming energies and how it's going to affect people, it may just get even crazier. So just, if you're having stomach issues, I know some people have stomach issues over this, throw a little ginger in your diet. A lot of people I hear crave sweets. Try some chocolate milk or chocolate ice cream. I think that'll work for you. Works for me. I can only throw out the things that I know work for me. All right, I'm gonna get off. I promise. Love you all. Take care. Bye bye.